Hey, hey, hey. This is JJ Kano Kano, and I'm in a very thoughtful December morning. A warm welcome on my channel, dear Filipino, Filipinas, and doubters, international friends, and well-wishers. Thank you very much that you was clicking on this video. Today we will discuss some very exciting questions about crusted spirituality, where our spirituality is crusted, especially if you coming from Christian background. Because now here's the festival of Jesus, Christmas time. And I just had some thoughts which I really want to share. First thought, and actually yesterday I was downloading about this thought, one of the most important videos ever on my channel. And please watch this video, it will be linked here up. It's about, is God an old man with a long beard or a transcendental, youthful, ever 16, playful boy? It's a little bit special if I title a video like this, but if you see this video, you will understand what I meant. And coming back to this thought that God is an old man with a long beard, often you see these pictures when you Google about God. Even I was working with the AI and I was generating pictures about God. I was speaking about God and immediately AI was generating on every picture old man with a long beard. You see the whole point of this crusty illustration of a God, a father in the heaven who sits on a cloud. Father is a supplier, he supplies. For example, Christians are praying in the church, give us our daily bread. This is actually a one-way road. It's a very materialistic view if you think deeper about it. It's only you ask God for something, give me this, give me this, give me a Mercedes-Benz, make me healthy. Then there's a book in the church where it's all kinds of gimme, gimme, gimme this, gimme that. So then he's an invalid old man and he's therefore supplying you with something. At least when we are talking about God and a relationship, it should not be a one-way road, that he's only a giver and we are only a receiver. What is this for kind of relationship? At least there should be an attempt for balance and mutuality. This means I give something back, I give service back, I offer food to you. Now, if you compare this, for example, with the version of Gopala, he's a child. You know, God as a child means you give something to him, you bake a bread for him. Indeed, whenever I cook, I not taste my food. I learned this as a monk. I'm just cooking the food. I have already a feeling which kind of spices must be inside. I cook it with love and devotion, and then I put it on the altar. And also on the altar there's Jesus. See, the idea here is that actually the food and this prayer on the altar, please Lord, accept what I was cooking for you or what I was preparing for you. The food gets spiritualized. And also this is an ancient practice which was described in the oldest scriptures for human race. Coming back to Jesus, what he was doing during the Last Supper was exactly the same when he was distributing something to drink.
If you would remember me when you eat and drink.
By the way, it was actually not wine, it was grape juice, but later the church people, they decided we make it wine, then it has also a kick. So okay, anyway, this is another point, but Jesus' point was, will you remember me when you eat and drink? Because we are here in a universe, there are apples, there are paprika, there are potatoes, there are bananas. So and you just take and take it for granted. And when you go in a supermarket and you take things, you also know that at the end you have to pay. It's a normal process, otherwise you're just stealing. And of course, God gives it all for free. But at the end, it's nice to reciprocate with the Lord and not just ask for something. Because at the end, everything comes from something. And it's nice to give something back to the universe maker. It shows that you have a good character to the Lord. And the Lord has no problem to receive it. Actually, God, he has a transcendental body. He has not this kind of senses what we have, like these limited senses. His body is also huge. Of course, his body is in an eternal time, has no beginning and no end. It's Ajita, he's unborn. He has an eternal body, not out of material elements, earth, water, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. He is his body. We are different from our body. We must first understand that we are not the body. He is his body, and he has an ever young body, and of course, he's unlimited. He can eat my love with his eyes. He can eat with his eyes. He can also see with his ears. He has a transcendental body. So this crusted picture of a God, of an old man, it's time to overthink this. It's time to come in a service mood, to give something back to the Lord, to connect, to have sambandha, to have connection with the Father, of course. God is also a father, but he's not only a father, he can be everything. He can be a lover, he can be a child. He's unlimited. He's not in our three-dimensional frame. And of course, it's very difficult to see God with our senses, with our material senses. It's only possible if the heart gets purified by the tears of separation, by the anointment of love, which comes when you really serve God for some years of your life, maybe even in the best time of your life, not when your body is old, when your body is fresh. Therefore, I'm addressing here the young, innovated watchers. Please think over to dedicate some time and connect and do yoga and try to experience God by, for example, chanting his holy name. I'm dedicating my actions to you, my words and my thoughts and my memory. And I try to remember you, and I try to fall in love with you. So how you can fall in love with a nothing, or how you can fall in love with God, and he's an old man, single, without any kind of partner in the sky. In this regard, Jesus said, I have to tell you much, much more, but you are not ready for it. Because Jesus was challenged. The people was very primitive at this time where he was preaching. It was very dangerous for him also to say certain kinds of things, because there were political people who wanted to put him down. This concept of an old man, if you really deeply analyze it, it seems for me, as a person coming from the Vedic context, as that people are very envious on God. Why God should be an old man who's almost invalid, who cannot enjoy anymore. You can enjoy, and he's almost going to die. On the top, he's single, he's alone, sitting on a cloud, and has nothing to do than to punish the living entities and the people and send them either to heaven or to hell. What is this for a poor picture about God? I mean, is it not more likely that God is the supreme enjoyer and has an eternal 16-year-old body, which is Satchit Ananda Vigraha? There's a verse in the Vedic scriptures. It's like this: Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit. Sat means eternal, Chit, full of knowledge. Satchit Ananda. Ananda means happiness, eternal happiness. Vigraha means form. We are made after the image of God. This means God has a head, we have a head. I was discussing this in this other video. I don't want to go here in this detail. Please watch this other video, which I was linking to this. But now I want to concentrate on, is God an old single or a young boy? And why this picture is so much spread still. It is a crusted picture about God. And why he is only one son. Why God should be so poor that he has only one son. I mean, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I adore Jesus Christ. I'm also not a Hindu. This is also discussed in this other video. I'm even not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. And at this point, I blend a little picture about what is spirituality and what is religion. When you are a spiritual person and just looking with concentrated intelligence on this picture and ask yourself questions about God. I mean, Jesus said, if you study the original texts in Hebraic, there's one word. He said that at this time, I'm the only path, the only way. Nobody can come to the Father than to me. At this time, he said, I'm the way. So his point was, in this present, I'm the only. Of course, there was putting this word in the present or presently away out of the Bible, because they wanted to bind, because of material interest, as much people to the church or to their church as possible, because of the taxes also. There was always political motives, for these spiritual people from all these power kings or persons who had their hands in the Bible, which was anyway written, I think 200 or 500 years after Jesus was here. So this is another point. Jesus not invented a religion. He just wanted that the people have a change of heart. Coming to the next point now, how materialistic this Christmas is. There's a very good film about Jesus. I really love that film. And I advise every one of you really look that film. Maybe I should make a reaction on this film. But now I just want to put one scene where Jesus is going inside of the marketplace and just throwing everything aside and said, my temple or my house should be a house of worship, of honor, and not just this kind of commercial buying and consuming and making a business out of me and want to earn money with religion or with spirituality.
My temple should be a house of prayer. But you have made it a den of thieves. Get out! Get out!
So when you study the Vedic scriptures, there you will see that, first of all, there was always human beings. Here on the left side, I will write down how much years, the 4 seasons, and the time span, of the Vedic view. Veda means absolute knowledge, or is the original knowledge of the human race. Because Sanskrit is scientifically the oldest language on Earth planet. So, and there is Sattva Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And already the Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. So do you think that in all this time, God had only one son? How people or human beings in earlier ages, means 2,000 or 3,000 or 6,000 or 10,000 years before Christ, was having an opportunity to return home back to Godhead, to the kingdom of God, to be with God together. There was always devotees. I could now introduce some of them. For example, Prahlad Maharaj, who was the son of a demonic father and who was teaching his schoolmates about spiritual principles. And his father tried to destroy him, and it was not possible. He was throwing him from a mountain. He was trying to burn him, and this and that. It's also very much connected with wonder. So in the Vedic history, there are many devotees. And to mention it, there are pure devotees now on this planet, and there is actually a spiritual revolution. And even the holy name is on the planet. Hallowed be thy name. So therefore, actually, even though there are so much weapons and so much aggressions, there is an interest of God to not destroy the planet, for example, in a nuclear war. You might ask yourself, hey, if you just study how much weapons and how much possibilities are there to destroy the earth. I mean, now the earth is shaking a lot because Mother Earth also is a person. And you see earthquakes everywhere, volcanoes are breaking out because Mother Earth is not happy with the situation, that there are so much sinful activities still. So these are some thoughts where I invite you to think this over. You can also start to discuss. Maybe one day we can make a live broadcast, and then we can discuss all this in a live broadcast. So this was again a little bit from JJ the Kano. And if you are new here and you was liking this little speech, then subscribe my channel, like it, spread my video. And if you have comments and questions, very much welcome. Please place them under the video. I stay until next time. Your JJ. Stay connected.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.